It's taken some work, but I finally have them. The worst of the worst.
Where?
Let's just say I put them in a hole and threw away the hole.
There's rumors, Amanda, that some of them have abilities.
Oh, yeah. I have seen things. Maybe Superman was some kind of beacon for them to creep back from the shadows. I want to assemble a task force of the most dangerous people on the planet who I think can do some good.
They're bad guys.
Exactly. And if anything goes wrong, we blame them. We have built-in deniability.
What makes you think you can control them?
Because getting people to act against their own self-interest is what I do for a living.
Are you the devil?
All you need to know is you work for me.
That the joke was on me.
So that's it, huh? We're the patsies. We're some kind of suicide squad.
Let's go save the world.
You're in so much trouble. Hope you got insurance.
Know what they say about the crazy ones?
Huh? If I'd only see
Oh, I'm not gonna kill you.
that the joke was on me.
I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
Hello, sci-fi movie nerds, and welcome to another episode of the Sci-Fi Movie Guy. My name is Mike, and this is my spoilers/non-spoilers Suicide Squad movie review. So the first little while of this, it's going to be non-spoilers, so feel free to watch if you haven't seen the movie. I'm just going to talk a little bit about it. Then I'm going to get into spoilers, and I'm going to have a big red mark right here on the screen that's going to say big alert, so you'll know, shut it off when that comes on, because that's going to be the spoilers portion of this video. And then at the end, I'm going to rate the movie. Now, let's just start with the opening of this movie. About the first 20-25 minutes of this movie is them putting together the Suicide Squad. And I gotta say, that's probably the best part of this movie. I'm not giving anything away. You knew they had to put together this team, and I'm not going to tell you how they did it. But let's just say it's really good. It gets you invested in these characters quite quickly, which is, I think, a problem that the DC Universe has had before, where they try to rush things too much and you don't really get invested in the characters. Batman v Superman had that problem. Suicide Squad didn't. You cared about everybody in the squad for one reason or another. Now, this movie was written in 6 weeks, from my understanding. So the script was done in 6 weeks, and it shows. It shows in this movie because some of the dialogue is a little bit off, a little bit corny, but it's okay. It's a comic book movie. There's nothing wrong with that. This is not real life. This is comic book taken to the screen, and I really enjoyed this movie. I would definitely recommend seeing it. Are there problems with this movie? Absolutely, there are problems. But there's problems with any superhero movie. I had problems with Captain America Civil War here and there. I had problems with Batman v Superman. I even had problems with my favorite movie of all time, The Dark Knight, with Christian Bale and Heath Ledger. But do the good parts of a movie outweigh the bad parts of a movie? And my opinion on this movie is definitely yes. There's one thing overwhelming that I didn't like about this movie, and that's the villain, which surprised the heck out of me, because DC does villains better than they do superheroes. I mean, DC has a history of having great villains. Now, the Joker is in this movie. He's not in it much, and you know what? The Joker isn't the main villain of the movie. So I think the Joker was played admirably by Jared Leto. It was a great performance. Is it Heath Ledger? No, I don't think so. But it wasn't supposed to be. It's his take on the Joker. It's this movie's take on the Joker. And I think it was great. Again, not Heath Ledger. I think Heath Ledger has played the best Joker so far. But this is a very close second. I think it beats Nicholson. I think it beats Cesar Romero. So yeah, I'm excited to see the Joker in more movies. Hopefully he's going to be the main villain in the new Batman movie. I think that's what they're setting it up for, but can't be sure. You never know in the Batman universe. Definitely make sure that you stay for the end credits, because midway through the credits at the end of the movie, there is a scene from one of the upcoming Justice League movies. So watch for that. Don't leave the theater right away. And it's a really great scene. There's also a cameo in this movie. It's a big surprise, so you're going to enjoy that. And yeah, so overall, great movie. Plot holes, yes. Script problems, yes. Action was there. Character development was there. I cared about the characters. I had a good time watching this movie. Stuffed my face full of popcorn. Enjoyed this movie immensely. Soundtrack was great. If you're a little bit older, you're going to recognize all the songs. If you're younger, you'll probably recognize most of them. Couple of areas where the music detracted from the movie a little bit, but mostly it was great. So I'm going to give you my score now, just in case you don't want to watch the spoilers version of this movie, but I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, that may go up or down. I just finished getting out of the movie less than half an hour ago, and I'm pretty pumped about it. So 7.5 out of 10. Probably would have given it more if the Joker had been the main villain and they would have gotten rid of the villain that they have in this movie. But other than that, yes, 7.5 out of 10. So now you're going to see this little alert come up down here. And that means I'm getting into spoiler territory. So pause this, come back after you've watched the movie and watch the last part of this spoilers review. So you've been warned. If you haven't shut off, that means you've seen the movie or you just don't care if I spoil this movie for you. So this movie has Will Smith as Deadshot, and he is incredible in this movie. Will Smith is a huge actor. He can steal the show, but in this movie, he doesn't steal the show. He plays in with the entire Suicide Squad and becomes a member of the team so that you forget he's Will Smith and you're watching Deadshot. And Margot Robbie is by far my favorite character in this movie. She has some of the great one-liners in this movie. She's got appeal when it comes to talking to the other Suicide Squad, but she's nuts. She's absolutely nuts, and I love it. The interaction between her and the Joker is phenomenal. They show how she became Harley Quinn. She was a psychiatrist in the Arkham Asylum where the Joker was, and the Joker slowly it looks like over a bunch of years, or at least a year, slowly swayed her to the dark side and manipulated her and made her fall in love with him. And then so what he does is he takes her back to Axis Chemicals where he fell in the vat and says, "Will you die for me?" And she goes, absolutely. And he's like, that's too easy of a question. Will you live for me? And she's like, absolutely, yes. And he pushes her down into the chemicals, and he's about to turn around and walk away. And then he goes, no, I love her. And he dives in after her, saves her. And you know what? Now she's got a bit of a pale skin like he does. And that's how Harley Quinn is born. We've got Killer Croc, who probably the weakest of the Suicide Squad. He's a full CG character pretty much, I think, with a voiceover. I haven't really looked into it that much. But Killer Croc, he's got some really cheesy lines. And again, that's because of the poor script. He has a couple of action sequences where he's cool, but for the most part, not really my favorite in this. El Diablo, I like his character development the most out of anyone. He comes in from this really dark place where he controls fire immensely, and he's a metahuman. There's only 2 metahumans on the Suicide Squad. There's him, and there is Killer Croc, and then the rest of them are just humans with badass abilities. But El Diablo gets really angry, and when he gets angry, he burns things, and he accidentally killed his wife and his 2 children. Again, that spoiler alert is there, so I'm sorry if I'm ruining the movie, but you should have shut it off. And then the way that he doesn't have a family anymore, so he teams up with the Suicide Squad, and very quickly during the movie, he probably half an hour, 45 minutes after they meet, he's talking about how they're his family now. And is it believable? Probably not. But after everything he's been through, yes, it kind of is. So I believed it. I was okay with it. It's a comic book movie again. I can't stress that enough. Go into this movie thinking about it being a comic book movie, and you're going to like it a lot. Now, the villain. She was just weird. She's a witch. She takes over this archaeologist's body. She brings her brother back to life, and they both lived for over 6,000 years on the planet Earth, and they were once viewed as gods by humans, but humans betrayed them and locked them into these idols. And so then Amanda Waller comes in, and Amanda Waller is kick-ass in this movie. She puts together the Suicide Squad, and she controls the witch by having her heart in a box. Again, a little bit weird script, but fine. I can accept it. And so whenever she gets out of line, she sticks something in the heart so that the Scarlet Witch, follows her orders. But then she finds a way to steal the heart, and so I'm just wondering, wow, all of a sudden you found a way to steal the heart with all these special abilities. She can appear and disappear and move across the entire planet Earth in 5 seconds, steal something out of a country's secret vault and bring it back to the United States. So if she's got all these cool powers, she should have been able to do this a long time ago. And just the look of her is awful. I mean, she's up there and she's doing this weird dance, and just not a great DC villain. I'm very disappointed in that. And that's why I'm only giving it a 7.5 out of 10. But the Suicide Squad, they're incredible. The chemistry between the characters. I love the first act and the second act. The third act is a little slow. And I think it's because when you write a script in 6 weeks, the last part of the script, they were just trying to pump it out and get it out so that they could start filming this movie. But at the end of it all, the reason that the Suicide Squad comes back together to save the planet is because they see an end game where they're all going to get freed, and Deadshot's going to get to go back to his wife and his daughter, and Harley Quinn is going to be freed, and all the other characters are going to be freed. And then Amanda Waller, who you think is dead, comes back at the end and says, no, I'm going to take 10 years off your sentences. You guys are going back to jail. And what she had done to control them was put a big chip in their neck that explodes. And it was funny because one of the Suicide Squad, he was a warrior type. Honestly, I can't remember his name right now. They show after the team's only together for, 10, 15 minutes, he tries to escape and she blows his head up to show them, because she knew she was going to have to do this sooner or later. And when you're watching the movie, you know that a threat like that isn't really a threat until you actually show them you can use it. So this had to be done for the movie. So they sacrificed one of the characters very early on. You just expected it. And that's how she controls them. And so, like I said, you think Amanda Waller is dead halfway through this movie, and then she comes back at the end. And yeah, she tells them, no, sorry, I've still got the button and I can blow up your heads at any time. And she's just a badass. She is a complete badass in this movie. And you wonder how she controls the Suicide Squad. Well, it's not just that she can blow their heads up. It's also the fact that she is just downright evil and she knows these people in their brains. So again, I like this movie a lot. I didn't love this movie. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't as good as Captain America Civil War in my books. It wasn't good as Batman The Dark Knight. Wasn't as good as Winter Soldier. I did a top 15 superhero movies, which you can go to my YouTube channel and watch. And I think this would probably come in around number 7 on that list. I'd probably slide it in there at number 7 because it is a great movie. It's not a super movie. I think that the problem with this movie was the script. And if they had had a better script, the actors, the characters, the way they portrayed these, it was incredible. And I can't wait to see another Suicide Squad movie. I hope they do another one. I know they are doing a standalone Harley Quinn movie, which I'm assuming the Joker and Batman are going to be in at some point. Batman is in this movie, not very much. And for the parts that they do bring him in, it's absolutely amazing. Now, when I said sit through the credits, the reason I want you to sit through the credits is because we get another little bit of the beginning of the Justice League movie. Now, it's just a little teaser. It's nothing huge. Bruce Wayne is talking to Amanda Waller and saying, you can become under my protection if you give me what I want. And she hands him a top secret file and he quickly opens it. And inside you see a picture of the witch. And then after that, flips the page, it's the Flash. After that, it's Aquaman. And he's happy with what he sees. He closes it, puts it away, walks out the door. And then he turns around and he says, why don't you just disband this group of yours, referring to the Suicide Squad. Me and my friends will take care of this. So this is fantastic because I am really excited to see the Justice League, Wonder Woman, the standalone Aquaman film, the standalone Batman film. This movie was definitely better than Batman v Superman, the theatrical version, but not as good as maybe the same as Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition in my book. So definitely go see this movie. Please tell me in the comments what you think. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. I would be very excited to hear what you give it out of 10 once you see it. I'm the Sci-Fi Movie Guy. My name is Mike. You can email me at movieguySci-fi@gmail.com, or you can tweet to me or follow me on Twitter at movieguySci-fi. And just remember, everybody, nerds rule the world.